My goodness, I can't believe my video was removed. Here we go again, another copyright violation. I don't even know what causes these things, to be honest with you guys. Like, for some reason, I do these streams and I thought it was behind me, but the video's removed because either someone made a complaint about it or there's a copyright violation, and that is creepy. What are you doing? What is that metal clanking noise I'm hearing? Oh, she's playing with something. I know. Hold up. I got to go down to the recycling bin really quickly. So you guys get to see Clinton in the meantime, because Barry is knocking herself up with the cardboard boxes over there. Yeah. Grr. What are you playing with, Barry? What is this? Oh, what is this? This is like some metal. Does anyone know what this stuff is? I have no idea. Like, what is this? Any idea? Barry was clanking around. Okay, PC slot cover. Okay. Thank you. I always ask Lewis, like, hey, I don't know what this is, but it's lying around, and he'll tell me. So the only way I have him explain it to me is this an audio, a video, a bafang, a drone, or a computer bit? That's all I need to know. And if he tells me that way, I can put it in the right box. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll put it off on the side because I don't know if he has the thingy-majingy for this. Yeah. I don't want to put it in the computer box if this is a total piece of crap for him. Yeah. Also, I might go to the store tomorrow to help with organizing. But it's problematic since I do not know what a number of his stuff is. So if he has like connectors, I'm kind of at a loss how to organize things. Because I don't think I can distinguish between like a computer cabling connector of some sort from a Bafang connector to a random miscellaneous connector he doesn't need. Yeah, there's no computer box. They're just lying on the ground. But I shall be right back. I gotta go down and do some recycling. So we will hear me back in a bit. In the meantime, Clinton, just stay there. You have one job, Clinton. All you have to do is just stay there. Mario is sleeping on his little sweater of sorts. Alright, we'll be back. Clinton, I just moved. Oh, goodness. Okay, Oreo, you get footage on you there. I just moved the camera and then Clinton decides to move away. Grr. Hello? Okay, you get Oreo. I know. Yeah, it said that I was violating community guidelines for whatever reason. And I'm like, grr. So I can trust Oreo is not gonna move. When I put away these boxes. And maybe I have new boxes to put up. We shall see. Also, you know the dryer belt some of you were asking? Listen to this. So it was supposed to get delivered on Saturday. It took 5 days for it to get outside of the New York distribution center. And it was supposed to be out for delivery on Saturday. That's what it said. Out for delivery. And there has been no update there. So I asked the person if they could go ahead and refund me or just send me another one. Since it seems like the post office person who's in charge of delivering it lost it in the way. I have no dryer belt, and I feel like it's going to take another 2 weeks for me to get a dryer belt. I ordered it right after the stream too, but it got lost in the area somewhere. I am back. Okay. Let's see what I missed. Gosh. Okay. Oh no, don't worry about it, Tarman. If it was a phone number, no biggie. No biggie. I don't take my YouTube channel too seriously at all. If I did, I would have sponsors. Oreo, do you have any sponsors? No. You're just the average person. Okay. Let's see here. Last year. Yeah, SP, I think your package got lost. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, oh my goodness, it is so freaking hot here. Oh, hello, Barry. Oreo Yoga. Oh no, I don't think so. They only sponsor one person and one person only. One person and one person only, but there is Blackberry. Hello, little girl. What is this on you, huh? What is on your chest? What's that? It's like a feather. Oreo sponsored by $5 cat food. I didn't expect the prescription food to be so expensive. I had no idea. It's crazy. Like I thought like okay, maybe it'll be like $3 a can, maybe $3.50 a can, but $5 a can. Ugh. But actually, if you go on Chewy, it's not as high as the vet. So Chewy, I think they were selling 24 cans for $60, which is crazy. Because right now, I think their food that they have is 24 cans for $41. It's just kind of crazy when I think about Oreo. It's just eating, over $60 of food a month. Just for his handsomeness, but I've said it before and I'll say it again, geriatric care for a cat is no joke. It does get pricey. If the cat does have health issues and Oreo has sensitive stomach. I haven't bought the cat food yet because I'm waiting to hear what they say about the blood result. If they say that everything looks fine and it's probably just food sensitivities, then okay, we'll just proceed on that. But if they tell me that, hey, there's something more to that, then it'll be a little bit more problematic. I also need to make sure Oreo eats that food. That is the $1 million question, Tarman. They say that cats, for whatever reason, they could be sensitive to proteins and chicken, beef, turkey. So to get around that, you give them more exotic things. So you'll see like venison, you'll see lamb, you'll see rabbit. And because of that, it gets pretty pricey. You're hoping that they don't have any reaction to that. I think Oreo is allergic to salmon oil because I tried giving him salmon oil early on for his coat, and his stool was terrible. But I'm really waiting just for the blood test to move forward. If they say that something's off about him and maybe his kidney has an issue, I did speak to Lewis about it. Bond Vet says at that point they would recommend him going to a more specialized clinic. Maybe they would recommend him getting an ultrasound. And you know how expensive ultrasounds would be, right? You know how expensive ultrasounds are for humans? Imagine how expensive it is without insurance for a cat. Yeah. Oh, it'll be so pricey, but it is what it is. I just hope it doesn't get to that point. I've read stories about how people spend thousands of dollars for their pet. I've known people who have spent thousands of dollars on their pets. And although it's not a cost that people want to spend, of course, if you have an animal that does need medical assistance, then you just have to do it if you can. He does pee. No, not ultrasonic. Ultrasound. So they would see if there was any masses inside of him, like if he has like a stuck hairball or if he has any growths in him. Yeah. So I think it would be up there, but no matter what Oreo goes through, I'll make sure that you guys hear about it, and that way, if you are thinking about getting a cat or maybe a dog, you are aware of what the cost is. Like for me, I've been a bird owner for over 20 years. I hate to say it this way, but it was over 20 years because now I don't have any bird in Hawaii. Yeah, I'm sad about that. And the cost of a bird isn't that pricey just because birds are much more fragile. So if they get sick, if they have any respiratory distress, they can be gone within 5 minutes. If they're sick, you might only have a day or two to save them at certain times. Yeah, birds go by really quickly, and that's why if you feel like they're sick, you don't even wait a couple of days. You immediately take them to the vet sometimes. That's what happened with me. Like I felt like my bird was sick, and it's like I took him to the vet the same day. Yeah, they're incredibly fragile. But cats, they seem to be a little hardier, and that's why for this kind of treatment you have a little bit more time. That's what I feel like, at least. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully his blood test results are fine. Hopefully a simple diet changes the issue, but I'm just waiting for those blood test results. Aww. Yeah. That's the other thing too. Like sometimes when you hear about cat care, the cost seems like it can really just go as high as the sky. Because what the vet told me is that you look at the blood test, depending on the blood test, maybe if his blood tests are fine, then just continue with the diet change. If it's not, if there's actually something off, like his thyroid, then they would send him to a specialized clinic, and then he might have to go on medication for the rest of his life. People did mention, I forgot the name of it, but there's like a steroid. I was just thinking to myself, I don't really want Oreo to be on prescription drugs or steroids for the rest of his life. I want to figure out the cause rather than just treat the symptoms. But if it kind of like, if I can't figure it out, then I would just have to do a steroid treatment and see if that works. I think Clinton's vision is not as good as it was before, for sure. But he's not blind. Yeah. I don't want Oreo to have to deal with getting dosages for medication or shots. Even like the blood test, I could tell he wasn't too happy after he got that blood test. I just want him to be happy and healthy. That's why I've tried to all these different foods and all these different supplements, hoping that if I found it, then he could avoid going to the vet. But it's kind of dawned on me that even if I give him different strains of probiotics, it seems like it's still causing the same issue. And the vet was saying that it could just be the protein inside of the food, and that's where the prescription pet food comes in, right? This hydrolyzed protein thing. I'm like, oh, the protein has to be like super small. I think that's how they explain it, like super small, so it's easier for them to digest. Like, ah. Yeah. Yeah, prednisone, that thing. So the video that got pulled, they pulled it because they said I either violated an audio copyright, like I had some kind of song in there, or it was audio or video copyright, or someone reported it, or there was some kind of report that I violated community guidelines. I have no idea what I would violate for community guidelines, but I think there might be some sort of bot out there that if they see certain things, like maybe a phone number, and you know, I'm not throwing shade or anything, but if they see like a phone number, then they'll just be like, okay, just remove the video. Rather than remove the comment, they rather just remove the video. And I think it's such a pain in the ass to think about it. Like, okay, now you have to watch what you post for sure. And yeah, I saw the phone number and I made it public. So even though it was hidden, I made it public because I thought, okay, you know, I'll just show it. And that was something that I intentionally did. So maybe it triggered off the bot out there and it just pulled the video. But it's no big deal. It's really no big deal. I don't care if my video gets pulled for that. Oh, that, yeah, in Hawaii that doesn't happen. If you have a sick animal, the vet charges you full price. Yeah. What do you mean, he's delusional? So in my previous stream, what I said was for some of the houses, and people have actually emailed Lewis some beautiful houses, and I think they're really pretty. But the problem is distance. So at least one address, the distance is about 8 hour drive away from Manhattan. Yeah, 8 hour drive. So Lewis is not going to be commuting 16 hours a day just to go to work. And in the house hunting videos, what we didn't bring across, or what wasn't brought across at all, was distance. For some of these locations, it's about 1.5 hours away, feels like 2 hours away, and it's so freaking far. I know it's just what, let's say 1.5 hour one way. For him to go to work back home, it would be 3 hours of his day. And I do not think he really wants to commute 3 hours just to go to work. Because you know how like how long he spends at work, and how committed he is to that to making sure the business runs smoothly. If he had to spend 3 hours for a commute, I really believe it would grate on him after a while. It really would. And I don't like the idea of him leaving work at, let's say, midnight, and he doesn't come home until 1:30. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. So right now his commute takes him about 25 minutes. Um, if he rushes, which I really don't, which I really hate when he does, it takes him like as little as 15 minutes, but that's utterly dangerous. Hold on, I gotta go and put out his dinner. So in case anyone wants to see Lewis's dinner for today, here is his dinner. Ta-da! It is miso, well, basically spicy miso fried rice with some eggs and green onions and chili sauce on top, with chili garlic crunch on top, with some vegetable patty. Yep. That is it. Blackberry. Gonna get combed? Blackberry's a cute snuggle bug. She really is. She's super cute. Let me find her. Hello? Okay. This way. Okay. Okay, Berry. You good? You good? Okay. Let me try and comb her. Yeah, he's vegetarian. No, they didn't want Oriole's poop. Yeah, so with okay. Oh no, Berry, stay there. Stay there, Berry. Come on, come on. You gotta get. I gotta comb you. She'll do this really polite thing where she tries to step over my hand, and I'm like, no, Berry. No, I need to comb you. I need to comb you. If I don't comb you, then you're not gonna be as pretty. So normally, I try to, oh goodness, look at that. Berry is a girl. Yeah, she is a girl. She's a girl who likes MacBooks. Oh yeah. And then here's Mr. Oriole. Oriole's back up. She does meow. Yeah, he's vegetarian. Oh, hello there. Berry's back. Berry, I gotta comb you. Okay, little one. Come on. Come on. Yeah, he's vegetarian, so my the foods that I cook for him is kind of limited. I like cooking I like Asian food a lot, but the problem is that when you have Korean dishes, a lot of it has like anchovies in it, right? Fish sauce, anchovies, fish stock, or meat products, or animal flavorings like oyster sauce. So it's kind of limited on terms of flavoring. So I've been using a lot of like spicy sauces and sesame oil and garlic. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, he doesn't want to eat fish. He doesn't eat fish. But, yeah. But for me, I am not vegetarian. This is bone broth, actually. This is beef bone broth and chicken bone broth. I bought it from Trader Joe's. It comes in a little pouch. And I put about 3/4 bone broth and 1/4 chicken broth, or chicken stock, chicken bone broth inside of it. And then I put some pepper and Italian seasoning, let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes on low, and then I just drink it. I really like it. I really find it comforting. So I like the taste of chicken, and if you guys are familiar with like bone broth, it's super expensive, but the flavoring is kind of there. I really like it. It's really nice. Oriole was combed earlier, but he's always open to being combed. Always open to being combed. Right now, I didn't see any puking today, so everybody's good in terms of puking. No puking today. But yesterday was puke central. It was terrible. Oriole probably looks very combed already because I combed him earlier today. So, but I'll give him a light comb. I was looking online of how to tell if your cat is overweight, and I found out that they said if you can feel the ribs, you have to feel the ribs, and if you can feel it prominently, or kind of like the back of your hand, how you can feel the bone, then that means they're normal. And then you also look at the shape, right? Oreo looks more like a stuffed sausage right now. And his ribs, I can't really feel them. I mean, there's a healthy layer of padding on his ribs. And he definitely gained weight since December. Paul S. in the store was saying how Oreo gained weight. And when I was looking at old videos of Oreo, yeah, he looks a little bit more chunky now. He does. He looks like a happy, well-fed cat. And I really when I see photos of Oreo, because I feel like Oreo is turning like one of those nicely groomed cats. And I don't know when it happened, but daily grooming helps a lot. It helps a lot. So if you want to have a pretty cat, groom your cat. I think this is about $8. It's a one-time investment, and I cannot imagine life without this comb. I think this brush will last like a number of years. If you look at Petco, for instance, or Petco or PetSmart, I was looking at cat grooming since I was curious. And they say that if you want them to comb your cat, they charge $15 for 15 minutes of combing. And I was thinking to myself, I know, Oreo, I know. I was thinking to myself, why would anyone spend $15 to groom your cat for 15 minutes? There really is no reason that you need to comb them for 15 minutes and pay for it if you're grooming your cat every day. But I do know that when I first came over here, I actually groomed Oreo for about 30 minutes straight because he had so much fur on him. And Lewis doesn't comb the cats. So Oreo had so much fur and dander on him that I felt like I was grooming him forever and ever and ever and ever. Yeah, Lewis pets his cats, but he doesn't comb them. And I was telling him that if you can make time to pet your cat, you should also make time to comb your cat. If these cats don't get combed, then they have hairballs, and then they also have, skin issues. And you might have remembered me saying for a while that I was trying to get rid of Oreo's dander. I just had to basically brush my way through it. So I was brushing him about once a week, and he was still having dander issues. And then when I finally upped it to every day, his dander went down a lot. So, yeah. So when I was looking at like some old videos, you might hear Lewis say, oh, Barry likes to be pet aggressively. She likes getting pet aggressively because he wasn't combing her. So when you go like this, right, you're loosening all the fur. So that's why she liked getting pet aggressively, and I think that's why she's so sweet to me, because I comb her and I realize, hey Barry, you just wanted to get combed for who knows how. I know. Are you okay? I hope he doesn't have arthritis or anything. Okay, one more, okay? Yeah. So, I will be very open with you guys. I remember before, I've said this a million times, but I used to see cats on the internet and Instagram, and I used to feel so envious of them because I thought, why do those cats look so well pampered? And these cats, like Oreo, he had dander issues, and I was spraying him, I was combing him, and he still didn't look that pretty. And I realized, like, those cats that are highly visible, they have so much care behind them. It's not just like, okay, I'm gonna pet the cat and that's it. They get brushed, they probably get sprayed with conditioning spray of some sort, maybe like a high shine detangling spray. So when they actually have like an image to take or video to take, they look really great. And those Instagram cats, I'm sure they have like filters on them too, but You figure if the cats are that visible, they really should be well taken care of. But people don't really show that side, right? It's not the glamorous side of seeing combing, and also food and dietary changes as well. So it's been a learning process. It's been a learning process for me. And a bunch of people sent these catnip cats over here. I know JP sent some, and someone else did too. This was actually on the kitty wish list as a filler item, and you can see Oreo likes his catnip cats, and all the cats like catnip cats. I mean, the catnip mice. And the house is slowly I hit him in the face. Whoops. You can see that slowly but surely. Oreo, I was trying to get that shot over there. Slowly but surely, yeah. These mice are probably gonna disappear somewhere. And this is on Amazon, in case you guys are wondering. It's only $2. You can find it on Amazon. Either that or I'll affiliate link it later if I remember. But this was a really good cat toy. I was really surprised. They really like it. They really, really like it. And it's so cheap, and I feel like if the catnip kind of dies down, you can always just buy a catnip spray to refresh it. I think of all the cat toys, Oreo likes these the best. There is, oh my goodness, that wish list, I'm so terrible with it. You can tell I'm not one of those people who are on it with YouTube. Hold up. See, he really likes those he really likes these mice. He really likes these mice a lot. And it's so cheap. That's the surprising thing. It's so cheap. Like, if I had known that he would like these mice that much, we would have had it on the wish list earlier. Or oh, Oreo, do you have to clean your what? Here he goes again. Cleaning his butt yet again. You have to do this on stream, Oreo. This is why you cannot be like one of those Instagram cats. You always just clean your butt on stream. How many times have people seen your butt on stream? Yeah, he's an indecent one. I think in the future I might get a copyright strike for indecency somewhere. At least it seems like he knows he's trying to be a little bit more modest right now. He probably heard me complaining. Reed, what do you mean your woman left you for a car? How can a woman leave you for a car? How does that make sense? Like, I don't understand. Does she leave you for a car because a person was in a car? I don't know. Yeah, I think he's well groomed. He looks so shiny. The dry food is good. You know what? Are you talking about the stuff on the kitty wish list? I would actually say hold off on purchasing anything because I don't know if I'm going to be changing the cat's food. It's all dependent on the blood tests. And it's all dependent on what I find good for in the future. But I think I'm going to keep I think I'm going to keep Barry and Clinton on the Royal Canin food. But I'm not too sure. Right now they've been eating it. They seem okay, but they still puke out their food for whatever reason. I'm like, ugh. There is always the option of putting all 3 cats on prescription food, but if it seems like I'm hemming and hawing at the idea of all 3 cats being on prescription food, I am. Because Barry and Clinton probably puke about once a week. That's what I find. About once a week or so. But sometimes they flare up, so they'll puke like 3 times a week in some stretches. But they haven't puked today. Yesterday they were puking out a lot, but I also saw a bunch of hairballs, and I was a little bummed out because I thought to myself, I've been grooming you guys. I've been trying to groom you guys every day. And you guys still have hairballs? Like, how do you guys have hairballs? I've been combing you. You guys should not have hairballs. Yeah, that video got pulled down due to copy strike. But I've also heard that as a cat gets older, it does have it can puke more. And I know sometimes these cats, I don't know what the reason is. They'll ask me for food. Like if they're really lazy, they'll just ask me for food in the morning, and I'm like, you guys, you already have dry food. So for Barry, sometimes I have to like physically pick her up and then put her right in front of the dry food dish, and then she'll eat. And then if she eats, she gorges out so much that she pukes. Even though I have an elevated feeder for her, she still pukes sometimes. And I'm like, oh, Barry, I got the elevated ceramic one. So that way they would lessen the chances of her puking. But she still pukes so every so often. I just want these cats to stop puking. I've done the probiotic route. I've done the elevated cat dish route. I've done the sensitive digest route. It's just... ooh, I even tried the slow feeder route, and yeah, they're older. I think Clinton is 11. I think Barry is 10, and then Oreo is unknown. He's between 8 to 10, according to the vet. Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, we're on our last litter, so that would be really helpful. Thank you. Barry, why are you trying to drink my bone broth? No bone broth for you. See how sweet she is. I've actually seen her give Oreo kisses, and Lewis has spotted her giving kisses to Oreo too. I think she favors Oreo more than Clinton because Oreo does not kick her in the face like Clinton does. I have the dry food. They're able to ration it out, but there's something about daytime. I think they get kind of lazy. Oh, do you see that? She's playing with the mouse. She's playing with the catnip mouse. So, yeah, the catnip mouse on the wish list. You guys don't have to buy it for the cats, but if you guys are interested in it for your own cats, it's a really good purchase. I'm surprised how effective those catnip mice are. I'm really, really surprised. So we have 1 mouse over there, 2 mouse over here, and there's Oreo's mouse. Look at that front paw action. Oreo, come on, we're trying to get you to do some exercise. Look at that face. He looks like an angry chubby boy. He's like, I don't want to exercise. I just want to stay at my weight. Don't make me exercise, Erica. Don't make me lose weight. And then... they said it can happen with age. She wasn't too worried about it. Actually, yeah, I used to have catnip on the wish list, and we still have a bunch of catnip left. That's why I pulled it off of the wish list. But it was called Cat Crack, and it smells really nicely. It smells really nice, but even if you put things, you spray it onto like their toys, it's much more effective to just have like catnip filled treats. So Oreo, or Clinton's favorite toy, it was this. And Clinton managed to open it up. So what I did is I grabbed the sock that had a hole in it, Lewis's old sock that had a hole in it. I washed it, and then I put catnip inside of it, knotted it up, and then I sewed it back up. So that way you can smell catnip inside of it. It's a really good way to make use of it. I think if you want to save money, instead of buying a cat toy like this, you could probably just get an old sock and sew up the edge of it. You know, like the opening, like sew it up or put Velcro and then put catnip inside of it. But the only problem with that is that I don't want it to look like there's a bunch of used socks lying all around the apartment, and that's why I haven't done it. But if it was like a cat playroom, I wouldn't mind putting all those old, you know, socks that I cannot find the matching pair to and just reuse it with catnip. I think it would be kind of nice to have a room solely dedicated to the cats where the cats can have like a playroom. And if there was a camera set up, you guys could see like a stream of how the cat room looks like at any given time. And it would basically be like this living room, but you would see more footage or more yeah, you would be able to see the cats more. I got the idea from a cat place, a cat stream. I think it's like a 24-hour cat stream. And I thought it was a really cute idea. Some of you like watching the cats, especially if you don't have any cats of your own. And I figure it would be great to share that with the world. You know, them lying around or eating or playing with their cat toys. I don't know if I would put the litter box in there now that I think about it. I think I want to give Oreo a little bit of privacy. So maybe not a litter box in that room, but as the playroom, sure. Or a litter box that has a privacy shield of some sort on there. No, the vet hasn't seen Clinton about his eyes. I really think it's aging, though, because it's something to do with senior cats. He's not blind. He's definitely not blind, but his sight is not as good as it used to be. Wouldn't 3 babies be better than the cats? Okay, I can't imagine having kids with the cats right now because Oreo is... Do you see that guy? Oreo is such a... How do I say it? He is such a cuddle bug. He likes sleeping between me and Lewis. I don't think he would want to share the... well, there would be no other space for any person sleeping between us. Because Oreo is like the baby of the household. He's treated like a baby. I pick him up and I handle him very gingerly. Yeah. I wipe his butt. Yeah, I check his butt. Yeah, 3 babies are far more work. Yeah, I don't know what you would do with $1,000 worth of catnip. I think that's very outlandish, and it's one of those things where it's very... It tries to get the views. Like, I bought my cat $1,000 worth of catnip and I put it in a bathtub or something, and what will the cat react? And you get views definitely that way. Like, I would click on that stuff, but do I think it's practical? No. No, not at all. But yeah. Let's see. So going back to what I was saying, you might have not seen in the last stream, this cat scratching post, this is supposed to be like $50. Yeah, it's like a $50 scratching post, but I bought it for $28 because it had a dent. If you look on the top, let me show it to you guys. Where are you? Come here. You see this broken corner here? Yeah, this little the cosmetic damage here. Yeah, this is the reason why this was $28 instead of $50. So I bought it because I figured this thing is so freaking durable, and I'm not gonna return it because it's just a freaking corner and nothing goes on top of it except maybe a mug here and there. And finally, I found another one for $28. It's on Amazon, and they said it has major cosmetic damage. I figure that probably a corner is broken. I'm not too worried about it, and I'm going to put it right over there. So Blackberry's scratcher, it's so small that when she scratches it, it moves around. And I know how she likes to sink her claws into that scratcher. And yeah, so that will be her, or maybe the shared scratcher, because they're scratching the couch over there. You guys might not be able to see it. Yeah. But I'm gonna replace it with another scratching post over there. I'm really, really excited about it. I could not justify spending $50 on a scratching post, but $28, yeah, that's fine. This thing is actually really tall, and it's durable as well. I've seen Clinton do a full stretch on this. It doesn't move. It's probably the best scratching post out there. But the thought of spending $50 on that scratching post, I was like, no, that sounds so expensive for a scratching post. But it's the best, and I expect the scratching post to last a number of years. They scratch only the front. When this thing gets too damaged in the front, I'll just move it off on the sides because there's 4 sides, right? And then after that, who knows, maybe I'll figure a way to turn it upside down or something like that. I'll make sure that thing has full use before that thing is thrown away. For sure, for sure. It has a lot longer life than the cardboard one. The cardboard one makes all this mess all around the place. Yeah. And then that one, that scratching post, they scratch it too every once in a blue moon. These scratching posts have sort of protected the furniture, not really. And my idea is that if they scratch the furniture, that means there needs to be a scratching post right next to the furniture. And that also has a couch protector, in case you guys can't tell. They were going crazy on the couch. And someone had sent us this couch protector. And I can't put it on the whole area because it has these little screws. And some of the areas on the couch has wood there, so it won't screw in. But I used as much as I could on the couches, and it really did make a difference. I think if you have cats, you should expect your furniture getting scratched, even if you have so many scratching posts. So 1 scratching post, 2 scratching posts, 3 scratching posts, and then there's a one back there, 4 scratching posts, tons of scratching posts. Total, they have, let's see how much scratching posts they have. They have 1, 2, if you count the 2 pillars, that would be 3, right? But I'm going to count each item instead. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 5 scratching posts in the apartment. Individual pieces, I think it's closer to like about 8 different individual posts, but for the items, it's only 5. That's the thing. I was looking at the Sisal, and people have actually asked that, can you refurbish it? You might have seen my refurbishing video on that. And I did try it, and it does work, but the problem with that scratching post is because it's stationary, there's not enough weight on it. So when Blackberry scratches it, and she's the smallest cat out of all 3, right? You'll see it rocking and moving. And I don't like that. This one, most likely it's probably glue gunned. It's either glue gunned or stapled on. If it's stapled on, you can just remove the staples and then re-staple it back on. But you can, if it's Sisal rope, you can redo it. You can redo it. Provided it's not, yeah, you can't redo it. But this one, it's some kind of fabric, and it's hard to find this kind of fabric. I wish they sold it individually so I can replace the fabric instead of buying a new one. But you know how manufacturers are, right? They're like, why should we sell replacement fabric instead of selling the whole new thing again? So most likely I will either have to try a DIY fabric on it or just buy a new one. But it's hard to find that. It has to also be that measurement. I don't know how they installed it in that either. I have no idea. I haven't taken it apart yet, but when it is worn, probably in like a couple years, then you might see me do a stream, if I'm still streaming then, of me taking this thing apart and trying to refurbish it. But it's probably going to be at least a couple years because there's 4 sides on that. Oh, see you, Tarman. I hope you have a nice sleep. Very restful one. Yes, I want to protect those uncomfortable gray sofas. The other reason why I want to protect these sofas, when they scratch it, their nails can get caught in it. And I don't like the idea of their nails getting caught in the sofa. It's not corduroy. It's some kind of like cat sisal woven scratching post. Here, let me pull this up. Do you see it? So this isn't corduroy. This isn't fabric. This is actually sisal, if I remember correctly. See? It's natural fibers. Not. It looks like cotton, but it's not cotton. Oh, here's a proof. See? So they scratch this side. When it gets too worn, I'm gonna rotate it so this side is facing the front. And then because I have 4 sides, I should get a lot of use out of them. So, yeah. And I think it's about 32 inches tall. So they go up and they sink their claws in and they kind of like pull down, it looks like that. But most of the damage goes over here. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah, I don't like the nails getting stuck on the couch. It really sucks. And the good thing about this is the nails mostly get stuck right here. So when I see the nails, I'll remove it. Oh, see, like here. Here's a nail. Right there. See? I really, really like this scratching post. There's a reason why this is a highly rated scratching post. And that's also the reason why it's the most expensive scratching post. Many, many reasons. But my idea is if the cat's going to use it every single day, then, and you can get a good deal on it, then by all means, buy it. Buy it because then it's worth it. It's better to have a scratching post that will last a few years rather than buying a cheaper scratching post that you have to replace more often. So this is, Oreo doesn't sleep here anymore. Well, okay, I take that back. He does sleep on it, but not nearly as much as he used to. So this was his little scratching area. And you can see, Oreo was the only one who scratched it, by the way. So he would scratch it, but the problem is it leaves all this stuff. See it? It leaves all this stuff, and it goes on the floor. So, and this is about, I think it was like $5.99 on Amazon. So it's cheap. It's much cheaper than the $50 scratching post. But it also has a lot more maintenance, and I don't think it's going to last as long. Oreo likes cardboard. The other cats, they prefer the sisal scratching post. And it's probably because Oreo used to be a stray cat. He used to live on the streets. We actually checked out where he lived. He used to live on Liberty Avenue. You guys can Google that, Liberty Avenue. It's a high crime area. And yeah, I thought, geez, Oreo really has street cred if he was living in Liberty Avenue. And Lewis was telling me, you know, we were joking for the longest time that we thought maybe Oreo walked his way over to Liberty Avenue. When we got over to Liberty Avenue, there was no way Oreo made that, 8-mile trip. Here, no way. He must have got picked up and moved, or someone must have rehomed him. For sure. But when he was over here, he was a stray cat. So I think maybe he got adopted at Liberty Avenue. Maybe the owners moved over here. I don't know. Or maybe he got rehomed over here and then someone released him. The neighbor said that Oreo was a stray cat for a while. Like he was looking for a home. So it wasn't like they weren't familiar with him, and Lewis put up all these posters around the neighborhood after he got Oreo, and nobody responded at all. And yeah. So imagine if someone did lose their cat, they would instantly, you know, see all those flyers around, and or put up flyers that say, "Hey, lost cat. Have you seen my tuxedo cat?" But there was nothing, and Oreo was also hungry as well. So the only idea we have is Oreo was probably dumped. And he's so cute. He's so cute, but he definitely is extra care. He definitely is extra care. He takes a lot of energy and research. I've learned so much more about cat nutrition in the last 6 months or so than I have learned in my whole entire life. I had no idea how important it is about certain things with cats, how to take care of them, how to assess how healthy they are, about nasal discharge and poops, and yeah. But it is a learning process, and this guy helps me be a little bit more aware of things a lot faster. Yeah. Oh, hello there. Yeah, Catherine. Yeah, that's a really cute video. You can see how skinny Oreo was, too. Lewis was saying that when he brought Oreo upstairs, Oreo went straight for the food dish, and he just ate so much. He was so hungry. And I think he was starving. I can't think of a place where... I don't see people feed stray cats here. I don't see any water dishes left out for the cat, so... I don't know where he was eating and drinking. But I have seen cats around this block that look kind of similar to Oreo. They look skinnier than him, though, that's for sure. But they look around the same size Oreo was in that video. Yeah, Statinus, the catnip scratching post, they actually give you a the cardboard scratching post, they actually give you a packet of catnip to sprinkle on top of it. How did Oreo and how did Lewis and the cats do without you? Lewis had a cleaning lady before, so she would come in and clean the place up. Oh, guess who's coming home? I can hear him. The cats just kind of were just doing their own thing. Oh, look, you can tell he's home. Look at Blackberry. Look at her eyes. They're like huge. You see him? Look at that face. She's like, oh. She's alert as alert can be. And then you got Oreo here. Look at that guy. This was the guard security kitty at 186. Not a care was given. Yeah, I heard the wall pet grooming kit is really good. I use these Scaredy cut scissors for Oriole's butt fur. And I really like them because I can adjust the clippers. So if you need to cut a dog or a cat, I would highly recommend those clippers. They also use those clippers. Listen to this. They also use those clippers to cut the hair for children who are sensitive to noises, like some kids with autism. They'll use those same scissors, but the way they do it is they have it rebranded. So they'll have like autism friendly scissors, and then it'll be the same thing, and they'll sell it as that, and then they'll just put another label on it, and it'll be like cat friendly or dog grooming friendly scissors. It's weird. It's the same thing. It's all about the marketing. It's all about the marketing. Yeah, he would leave the cat puke for the cleaning lady. So I have my hands full sometimes. You guys hear me talking about all the cat's puke and the poop, and I'm cleaning after Oreo. It's quite a handful. But they really deserve to have a good life, and I think they're very happy. Barry gets groomed. Oreo gets groomed. Clinton, not really. Clinton doesn't really get groomed. He runs away. Oh my goodness. Oreo, can you stop cleaning your butt, please? Do you have to clean your butt every time I live stream? Dang it, Oreo. This is probably why I get copyright strikes. This indecent exposure, Oreo. Oh, okay, he stopped. He probably heard me. Actually. No, it's not your butt smelling. Sometimes I'll put my my nose near Oriole's back end so I can tell it, hey, do I have to wipe his butt or not? I don't know who copyrighted, but yeah. Oreo is a very sweet kitty, it's just a lot of care. Yeah. And talking about that, that's why sometimes I think I've gotten a lot thicker skin after YouTube and being on YouTube, because sometimes I'll see people say things like, what does Erica do? Erica contributes nothing to Lewis's life. And it's easy. I think it's easy for people to assume like, hey, because we don't see her channel, or like, there's not too many people who look at this channel for sure. Like, there's only 36 people, or 37 actually, watching this stream right now. So it's easy to assume that if you don't see me on his main channel, then I must not be doing anything at all. And you got keyboard warriors who think, okay, well, Erica must not do absolutely anything if I don't see her on the main channel and she's not fixing boards. And sometimes I read those things and I think, oh, they can just bite it. They can bite me. I don't care. You have to have a thicker skin if you're online, and I think that's the reason why some people I personally know don't want to be seen on YouTube, because there's a lot of fear of judgment or being judged by other people. I had a friend whose daughter made a YouTube channel, and she is a ray of sunshine, really sweet girl. And there was this one person who said something really malicious towards her. And I watched the video, it's completely fine, but you have some people who say things like, oh, I think they called her ugly. Yeah, I think that was it. And they'll just say these uncalled statements online, and I just think, like, what is the positivity towards it? I don't understand. I mean, my friend's daughter is I think she's like 13 or so. Maybe she was 11. When the video was up, but yeah, sometimes you see those kind of those things and it's just so disappointing. It's really disappointing. But I know who I am, and I don't let criticism get to me. Some people, they'll say, okay, you're posting certain things and it looks less than perfect, and it makes you look bad, and it makes you look like, portray you in an unflattering light, but it's reality, it's fine. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. The stuffed animals on the couch, if they get knocked down, that's fine too, because not everything looks showroom ready. And that bubble wrap is there because if I remove that bubble wrap, they will claw the crap out of that one wooden corner. I accept those things about myself, and I don't really I don't take this kind of thing like, oh, how come everything doesn't look perfect all the time? I don't take it that seriously. Yeah, children are extremely vulnerable. That's where I draw the line. When you tell someone who's like a teenager, especially, you know how teenagers go through that awkward phase, and sometimes they have really bad acne. I had really bad acne when I was a kid, really, really bad acne. It was hormonal too. When you go through that kind of awkward phase when you're a teenager, or maybe you're just starting out on YouTube and you're very young, you're more susceptible to that kind of criticism when you have people attacking you for no good reason. And it's important to realize that if it's warranted or unwarranted, if it's an aesthetic thing, like if people make fun of someone's looks, I think it's such a low blow. No one can control how they physically look like. You can work out, you can use skin creams, but in terms of where people's eyes and nose and mouth is, people don't really have much control over that unless they have cosmetic surgery. Yeah, so I think criticism on someone's appearances is very, very shallow. And I've always maintained that the most important thing about a person is their character. It really is. You cannot put a I think it's extremely flawed if people put a much more higher emphasis on looks and character. Looks are important, don't get me wrong, but it's easier to polish up something rather than trying to change it completely. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know people in my life, they look really pretty or they look, really good. But if you see how they act towards others, or you see what's coming out of their mouth, it just is so unattractive. And then when I saw those kind of things, it just turns me off. I also don't like it when people use their looks to get what they want. And I've seen multiple instances on this in my life. It's sad. Like, for me, in Hawaii, most of the people that I hung out with were guys. And these were guys that didn't have the best luck in relationships, and I've always been that kind of supportive friend. Some people say I act more like a guy than a girl at sometimes. Yeah, I'm a really supportive friend. I think I feel more comfortable around males and females. Since when I was in first grade, I kind of got ostracized by the girls for whatever reason. So I hung out with the guys, and I really like Power Rangers and Batman, and yeah, yeah. There was a period of my life that I was kind of like a tomboy, believe it or not. So yeah, guys are a lot more straightforward. I find they're more open, and they're more emotionally balanced. I'm just saying that because sometimes when you deal with women, they can be kind of dramatic. I can be kind of dramatic as well. But when I was hanging out with my guy friends, it's like if I needed advice, they would give me really good advice. And yeah, it's that's why when I have a problem, I try to think about it very, very logically. And I take offense when people say like, "Oh, Erica, you're thinking too emotionally and you're not thinking logically about like house hunting." I'm like, no, no, no. I don't. I look at it and I see criticisms and I point it out. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, the guys that I spoke to in Hawaii, they were very open, honest people, and they weren't the most aesthetic guys. Some of them were kind of overweight, but they had really good hearts. They had really good hearts, and I remember they would tell me that they would make a move on a girl and they would just get shot down, or they would be kind of awkward. They would go on a date and they would be all, they didn't loosen up. So I remember I was telling at least one of them, I said, you know what, when you hang out with this girl, I know she's pretty, I know you're really into her, but just pretend like you're talking to me, okay? You know how you and I are all, we just kick back and we're just very relaxed. Yeah, just treat her like a human being. Don't be in awe of her beauty or anything. Just treat her normally. Just treat her normally, and just let your personality shine through. Yeah. And if you have to be like a fake version of yourself, I don't think that's the way to go. Let's see here. You don't like this carpet? I really like this carpet. I think it ties it in together, and I like it because it's so easy to clean. Even though there's usually cat litter sprinkled all over this thing because they track litter. But I really like this carpet. I really do. If they didn't have the carpet, I think it would look kind of empty. This carpet kind of, to me, mentally separates this as like the cat play area where all the toys go. Yeah, I remember that I typed in something like Lewis Rossman girlfriend, and I saw a post on 4chan, yeah, 4chan, and they said like, oh, Lewis's girlfriend is so ugly, and I just laughed when I saw that. I was like, ah, oh, someone talked about me on 4chan. I used to go on 4chan before, by the way. I was like, yep, 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 yep. Yeah, I went to a dermatologist for a number of years throughout high school, and it was going dealing with acne was very emotionally tiresome and draining for me because despite me trying to have a healthy diet, I kept breaking out and I was going to like the top dermatologist on the island, and I went through like a whole laundry list of things. It wasn't just, I went through Proactive. That was before Derm, and then I went through all this stuff, like all these creams, every single thing you can name on the market, antibiotics, topicals. I even did those like laser therapies that cost $250 a pop. Yeah. I did it and it didn't really make that much of a difference and it's just temporary. I look back and the dermatologist said, okay, we tried everything out there. The only thing you can take is Accutane. And I refused. I absolutely refused to take Accutane 100%. And the crazy thing is that after I stopped taking all those antibiotics and all those creams, and I gave up, my skin started clearing up. And I think sometimes that my skin was just probably so irritated from all these chemical peels and topicals that it just needed some time to breathe, or maybe it was a coincidence. I don't know. I still break out here and there, but it's okay. It's part of being human. I don't have the most perfect diet, and that's okay. I'm enjoying my life, even if I am a little spotty at times. Oh, that Shallow Hal movie. Yeah. I've shared with you guys that story about that one person that I had in my life for over 7 years, and they have a really good family. I've met the family, so supportive, so nice. Um, and they had great friends, and they just threw everything away, even their pets, for this one girl. And she blatantly uses her looks. And the sad thing too is that I see her on Instagram, and she's she's busty. She's a busty Asian girl, and she the clothes that she wears and the poses she does is so suggestive. It really is suggestive. And here's the thing, she never posts a picture of her husband. She never does. And it just blows my mind. I think, jeez. Yeah, there was some thoughts that she was cheating on him because she allegedly went um, apartment hunting in another state, and she met up with her friend, and she found this friend on a friendship site which was called Tinder. Yeah. Can you imagine that? You say, hey, let's move to another state. Oh, yeah, I'm going to check out this area. And I have a friend that I met on Tinder who is a guy. And I'm going to be staying alone with him for like a week. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that even though she has those assets from what I hear about her, excluding from that one guy, she's not really likable. And I feel sorry for her because looks do not last forever. Um, Something can happen. You might lose your looks in a heartbeat. People go through accidents. People get older, right? They age, and I I think that I don't want to be one of those people who feel like if I lose my looks one day or what I have of looks, that I have nothing in my life. That's why I don't put too much weight on how I look. Like I think it's important to look pretty and or look the best that you can, but of course do it for yourself. Don't do it for others, because if you do it for others, your aesthetic might not fit another person's aesthetic, right? Some people like really muscular women and other people don't. Some people like really, really short women and other people like really, really tall women. And, you know, to each their own. You know, people have different tastes. So I don't follow any ideals. I just follow what I think is attractive and I go for that. No, I'm not I've never, I'm terrible with string instruments actually. I took guitar classes back in high school and I even took ukulele classes, but my fingertips never calloused up. But I do admire people who are really good at playing instruments. Wow. Yeah. So John shared that there was a girl in his high school that was a looker and had an attitude. She basically got what she wanted until she got into an accident, and all she had was her attitude. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the women that I find the most beautiful in my life, they're they're old. I mean, when talking about they're old, they're like 70 years old. They have wrinkles, but they have such big hearts and they have so much warmth to them that I think they're such beautiful people. I think they're gorgeous women. And I think being around those kind of women really influenced how I see certain individuals. I've always stressed that character is important. How you treat people is really important because if you treat people poorly, in my opinion, that's a reflection of yourself. Always treat people with kindness because I've been on that side if people are rude to me and if people say things to me in my face that I don't like hearing and they say it in such an aggressive or angry manner and it's unwarranted, then it I think to myself I don't want to treat people that way, you know? Um like if someone calls, let's say if someone calls me a like a beeping idiot, right? Like if I made a mistake and someone called me, you know, you're such a beeping idiot. Okay. Um that doesn't solve the issue. Name calling people does not make the situation any better. People do not grow from being being called names. They grow from being shown how to fix things and how to become better people. That's why I've always been very open and said, hey, you know, I don't know how to do certain things, and I made a mistake on this, that, or I overwatered the plants, and yeah, it's you know, people don't know everything. I definitely don't know everything, and I don't treat myself harshly. If I fall short in something, then I try to pick up wherever I left off and refocus and grow from it and move on smoothly. Um, and that's why whenever I find people, whenever, like, if someone does something stupid around me, I won't call them an idiot because I know how it feels to be called that sort of thing. I know how it feels to um, get someone like explodes on me for no reason. Like, I know how that feels, and I don't like that feeling at all. That's why when you see me, interact with like Oreo, for instance, right? Some people might take their, like how Oreo is, some people might get frustrated. They'll be like, you're such a, stupid cat, you can't clean your butt, or, I'm gonna throw you away because you have this pooping issue. I don't think, and I think that's really what happened with Oreo. I really think that's why he was dumped. I think that's why he was a stray cat. And I don't hold that against him because he's a cat. He doesn't know how to fix these issues. He doesn't have the means to fix these issues. He can't buy his own supplements. He can't go through other cat food. He relies on the owners. He relies on his owners or his caretaker take care of him. So if a cat is pooping and he smears on the sheets, how can you really get mad at the cat? The cat's not intentionally doing it. He has a health issue and it needs to be addressed. And I address that. I never get mad at him for smearing. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, Gorio," and I'll clean the sheets, but I never yell at him. I never yell at him for those kind of things. I never do. I'm sure he's probably embarrassed about it. If he was, I'm sure he understands embarrassment, and I'm sure he also knows that he's the smelliest cat out of all the cats, and it's just being understanding and pushing him to be the best cat he can be. And yeah, he's not a human, so I can't expect him to gain more life skills from me taking care of him or me trying to make sure his diet is better. But he is he really is a great cat, and I cannot fault him for that. No. The dryer belt actually got lost in the mail. It was supposed to get... Oh, look who's scratching. Oh, she was scratching. Yeah, it was supposed to get delivered on Saturday. It said out for delivery, and then it fell off the radar. It's now Wednesday, so I think it got lost. I already told the seller, hey, just give me a refund or ship me a replacement. Actually, I asked him for a refund because the price on that was overinflated. So yeah, I never take my frustrations out on the cats. I never do. It's 100% an owner's responsibility to make sure that their pets have a nice life, and if there's any problems with their diet, it doesn't fall on the animal, it falls on the owner. No, he did not have a gambling addiction. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. So, yeah. Oh, hello there, Oreo. Yeah. I don't know if Oreo understands what I say. I don't know, but I think that he might have, in the past, he might have been, told terrible things by people. And one of the things that stands out to me is Oreo is always so warm and loving, no matter what happened to him in the past. And I'm sure life on the streets was not easy for him. He never lost his kindness. He never lost his sweetness and his kindness and his trust in others. And I want to make sure that for the future, and as long as he lives, he feels like he's very loved and he's very special and he's worth it. He's completely worth it. I think if a human was kind of treated like how Oreo was treated, they would have been very bitter and resentful. But or they would have been yeah, or they might have had some psychological issues. Like I said, like being abandoned by previous owners is not an easy thing, right? But Oreo, he goes up to people and he meets new people and he doesn't judge them. He's so warm and friendly. I mean, the person could be an axe murderer and he would still cuddle up with them. And yeah, I look at that cat and I think if he was a human being, he might not be the smartest human being, but people would feel very warm around his presence. I've known people in my life, they're not the smartest people, but they have a really big heart. And that's all that, those are the people that I think very, very fondly of. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but as long as you're the as long as you treat people well and you encourage people, and you support them and you wish people the best, that's how that's really a good human being, a good citizen of the world. That also reminds me, on a side tangent. So I am subscribed to a few vegan channels and non-vegan channels on YouTube, just because I kind of want to hear both sides, and I think it's interesting. So there was this one vegan YouTuber that people really looked up to, and I think I mentioned in a previous stream how he got so much crap about eating eggs. Eggs, yeah. And he was saying something like he was doing an experiment to see if he would feel better eating eggs, and he claimed that he didn't, right? But he got so much slack over it, and I was thinking about it, like, why is someone getting so much slack about their diet of all things? So much. But it comes down to ethics, right? Some people feel strongly about animal ethics or animal welfare. And if you are eating eggs, then you could be seen as contributing to animal exploitation or murder and things like that. So when I saw the video about him eating eggs, I thought to myself, hey, this guy has a lot of balls, because he's actually admitting that he ate eggs. And for some vegans, they have this like 100% purity or you fail kind of thing, right? And you guys know my personal diet views. I do not believe in having an exclusionary diet. If I want to eat something, then I will eat it. I try to be healthy, but sometimes you make mistakes and you eat foods that you shouldn't eat, like instant ramen, and that's okay. Just try to eat healthier next time. That's my take on it. So this guy was he ate eggs, and then he got interviewed about why he ate eggs. Yes, other vegan YouTubers were interviewing him about eating, why he ate eggs, and he was saying that he was being an idiot or something along those lines, and he blamed himself. And within the last couple of days, he came out and said he is no longer vegan. Oh my goodness. There's just so many people who say like, oh, he's a liar and how dare he, and he's a terrible person. And it's just like this, he's just getting like absolutely slammed on social media and YouTube. And it boggled my mind, because from my stance on it, I thought, look, if someone decides to make a dietary change, and his rationale is because of his child. He does not know the long-term effects of it, and he did not feel comfortable having his child on a vegan diet. So, as a result of that, it seemed he wanted to not be vegan anymore. And I don't know if I really believe that, but it doesn't really matter what I believe or not. The fact of the matter is that he does not want to be vegan anymore. Instead of respecting this choice, he just got, like I said, slammed online. And it saddens me. It saddens me so much, because people who say they idolize this guy and they looked up to him, they're now saying that, they feel like they were betrayed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's scary, it's so scary. It's so scary, and it saddens me to see him get so much hate just because he wanted to change his diet. Now, I have been very open about my stances, how I think it's important to treat animals with respect and provide them a good place to live and also dispatch them quickly. I've always been very open about that, and I believe strongly in that. But if someone decides to make a dietary change and go back to a diet that's been around for millions of years, that is the diet that our ancestors have had for like I said, millions of years, then I don't think that they should be getting this kind of hate, because technically it is the most natural diet. Morality aside, it is the most natural diet. Yeah. And I just think, how can people have so much compassion for animals but then be so visceral to a person who feels like at that point in their life they just want to take care of their health? You get what I'm saying? Like, I understand that some people feel very strongly about animal welfare and making sure the animals are not eaten and things like that, but once you become cruel to a fellow human being, it just makes me think, do you care more about the animals than you care about human beings? Like, some of the stuff that I was reading, I just couldn't believe how angry it was. I really couldn't believe how angry it was. It wasn't said from a place of kindness or, hey, I'm really disappointed in you that you decided to do that. It's just labeling the guy as a murderer. And yeah, it just shocked me. I think that's the dangers of being like a vegan YouTuber, and you'd be open about it. If you have your whole YouTube channel centered around your diet, and there are a few prominent, ooh, look at that. There are a few prominent people who talk about their diets, and like fruitarianism or some people believe in eating high carb diets. Other people believe in being like carnivore diet, keto diet, paleo diet. I can't imagine, and this is, maybe I'm just saying this, I can't imagine any other community of people being so against someone who steps out of their dietary circle and then goes back to, oh my goodness, or stop that, goes back to what is considered to be the normal standard diet, and being so mad about it. Like, there are people who go on keto, as you know, and I've been on keto and I couldn't stay on it because I kept kicking myself out of ketosis with all these yummy carbs. And it sucked actually when I broke keto, because I could feel it. And you know what? I failed in it. That's okay. I tried the diet. It wasn't for me. I tried veganism for a period of time in my life. I tried fruitarianism, and it didn't work out for me. And I tried it, and I don't feel bad about it. It's like, okay, it didn't work out for me, and ultimately people need to have diets that work best for them. And I don't believe that people should force their personal beliefs on others. You see what I'm saying? Like, if someone tried the vegan diet and they decided they wanted to eat eggs, they shouldn't be crucified for it. They shouldn't be they shouldn't feel like they did something terrible. When you go to a supermarket and you see all this egg and dairy and cheese out there, and people eat it without a care in the world. You go to schools and they serve that in cafeterias. Nobody blinks. It just really makes me sad for for that one YouTuber, because he becomes open and he becomes transparent about it, and he gets so much hate just for trying something. Now, maybe he's going to go back to veganism. I don't know, right? Maybe he's going to be a vegetarian. I don't know. But if someone steps out of a diet for a temporary period of time, they should not be absolutely destroyed for it. Yeah. So my belief in diet is if you cut out a certain food group, just be careful. I know some people they cut out carbs completely. I don't think, I'm like, I don't know how that is long term. I know some people they cut out animal products completely. I don't know how that is long term. But if you feel off for whatever reason, just go back to your normal diet. It's not worth sacrificing your health for for um for animals, and that's what I'm going to be very candid over here. Like if I feel like complete crap, and there have been times where I felt like complete crap, then and if I feel like craving for meat, I'm just going to eat it. I don't think that makes me a bad person at all. I don't think that detracts from all the other parts of my life and how I treat people. It's not like if Erica eats meat, she's a terrible person and blah 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 blah. I don't think that's true. And that's why I would never, ever, ever be identify with a certain diet on YouTube. It's just scary. It's scary. Like if I ever decided to be vegan and I backtracked from it, oh my goodness. I imagine some people would be up in arms like, oh, you're just a fake vegan. You're not real. It's like, yeah. So the guy's name was John Venus, and yeah, I felt bad for him because I saw a few videos of his, and when he was explaining himself, saying like he no longer wanted to be labeled as vegan, I could tell by his body language that he was uncomfortable, and I just think there's just something so dangerous when you have yourself displayed as like a vegan YouTuber, and then when you step away from that title, your fans or your followers can just see like you betrayed us, you betrayed us, how dare you. But it's a diet. When it comes down to it, it's a diet. Yeah, the sad thing too is when certain people, you get into a community, and I'm not just talking about veganism, I'm talking about other communities as well. They feel like they're part of a group, and then if they break away from that lifestyle, whether it be something like yoga, not yoga, but you know what I'm talking about. Like if you're in a group of people and you break away from it, I know this is popular with like MLMs, like LuLaRoe. There's been documentaries saying that people felt like they had a sisterhood with LuLaRoe, women empowerment sort of thing, being your own independent business owner, and you made so many friends, and then when you decide you want out of LuLaRoe, people just unfriend them on social media. And this one woman, I think it was a Vice documentary, if I remember correctly, she was crying about it. She said she felt really sad about losing all those people in her life, and I think if those people were really into her, then they would not turn their back on her just because she doesn't sell LuLaRoe anymore. Yeah, so I really felt for her, and John Venus also said that there are people in his life that don't want to be associated with him anymore because he's no longer a vegan. Like they don't want to be seen with him, and I thought, for frick's sake, how can and this is how can you preach being compassionate to beings when you're not even compassionate to human beings, right? You say you're compassionate to animals, like for those vegans who criticize them, and they're just like and they're just trying to destroy him. Like those people claim to be so compassionate and be so mindful of animals, and then when it comes to a human being, they're just like, destroy, destroy, destroy. That does not help spread peace in the world. That is not kindness. That is just vilifying someone who doesn't agree with who doesn't follow your dietary choices anymore. Yeah. Now here's the other curious thing too. Here's the other curious thing. So a number of these vegan YouTubers, they also have vasectomies. Yeah, they get vasectomies, and they say, like, some of them say they don't like kids anymore. Other people say that the environmentally responsible thing to do is not to have children because we have so much people in the world. Now, if you want to snip yourself because of that, by all means. But it's kind of weird to me. It's kind of weird to me how I hear a lot of those, a lot of prominent vegan YouTubers getting, snip snip, or they're saying like, oh, I don't have my period anymore, but it's okay because I'm detoxing. I'm like, is that true? I think if you don't have your period anymore, that's a sign of danger. And that probably means that you're low on nutrients somewhere. You're not having enough fat. So yeah, hi, and that I just wanted to add to that. There's this one vegan YouTuber who has a strong dislike for kids. I'm not gonna name who it is, but they have a strong dislike for kids. And they also got a vasectomy. Yeah, I mean, like, if people believe, if people want to not have kids because of they believe there's overpopulation, then I respect that. I completely do. But it's just kind of weird to me. It's just kind of weird to me how if you have some prominent vegan YouTubers and they're so passionate about the justice for the animals, and then they're just so cruel to other people like that, and as I imagine, like, that doesn't encourage people to become vegans. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're a soft spoken person and you say, I want to be compassionate towards people and animals, then you have a much better chance of converting people over to veganism. Now, I'm not saying all vegans are like this. I'm not saying all vegans are like this, but it bothers me when I see the prominent vegans being like this. It's just, yeah. And and I'm gonna share this with you guys. The reason why I stopped going on the vegan diet is I noticed, like, psychologically, I was getting into a dark place, and nothing changed in my life at all. And I was reading online because I was thinking, why do I feel so depressed? Why do I feel so freaking miserable? Like, nothing changed in my life. And I found out that people they said vegan vegetarians, they have a higher chance of depression or mental distress than non-vegans or non-vegetarians. But also keep in mind, I wasn't supplementing as well. I was just doing the like vegetables and rice and tofu, that kind of thing. So I wasn't taking any B12s or omegas or anything like that. But because I know myself well enough, and I'm confident that I would not be taking supplements long term, that's another reasons why I would not become a vegan or vegetarian. I like to get my nutrition from the food that I eat as much as I can. As much as I can. I don't like taking pills. It's just a thing. Like, my family is the same way. We don't like taking pills. We buy supplements, but we don't take them very well. And if I realize that, hey, if I don't supplement, then my mental health goes on a steep decline, that's enough for me to say, no, I never want to do this long term. Oh no, Andre. but I do think that if people want to be environmentally friendly, right? Reduce your meat intake. Reduce your meat intake, or go for sustainable or more humane slaughter options. Don't You don't have to buy something from a feedlot. You can go to like a Whole Foods, even though it's more expensive. I know. Or you can buy something like lamb if it's grass fed. If you find something that's like pasture raised and grass fed, then that animal has a much better life than one that lives in a small little cage. And for me, as a meat eater, I feel more at peace getting my meat from there than buying it from something just like from a regular supermarket. And that's how I try to um get my meat intake, but also feel like I'm pushing for higher animal welfare. Yeah, that's the danger. Like I've heard about some YouTubers that you meet them in person, they're dramatically different than how they show up on YouTube. It's not like when they show up at a meet and greet, it would be at like a completely different like venue. Like they're asked to speak at an event, and they get swarmed with fans like, "Oh my goodness, I've watched your videos on YouTube." And they just come off as like, some people come off as cold and standoffish. And yeah, I'm not talking about, in case you guys are wondering, I'm not talking about any of the tech YouTubers. In case you guys are thinking it's certain individual. No, it's not any tech YouTubers. Um, but yeah, it's, I, I just think like, geez, it's so easy too with video editing to make someone seem like always happy or always bubbly, and then when you actually see them in person, maybe they could be a complete grump. And it's not just a one-time thing, right? Like across the board, when people interact with that person, it could just be negative. You see that with like Hollywood celebrities too. There was this there was a news article that I've been seeing around, floating around online. I think her name's Leah Michelle. You know, the girl from Glee. The, oh god, I forgot her name. The one that was Rachel. Yeah, Rachel. I've only watched like 2 episodes of Glee, by the way. The person who played Rachel, yeah, she is getting slammed online because it's gotten out that she's just been terrible to her coworkers in the past. And people have come together and said, "Yeah, I met her, and she's so snotty." Uh, and one woman claimed that Leo said something along the lines of, if no one was watching, then she would poop in her wig. I thought that's so terrible. That's so terrible. And imagine some of these not these YouTubers, but yeah, maybe YouTubers and Hollywood people. They make sure that this bad stuff doesn't leak out, right? So they're always portrayed in a favorable light. See you, Sarah. Yeah. I think there's a problem too when people are constantly in front of the camera. They might feel that pressure to hype themselves up, especially because nobody wants to see someone just like, how would I say it? How am I say it? Like if you see some prominent YouTubers, they're always very hyped up, and then you got other people who are more like more low energy. And yeah, it's the low energy doesn't really get the views as much. And yeah. So how did your TV recording go, Andre? Now I went to get water. Oh, hello there, Oreo. Look at that guy. You know, Oreo, if you wanted to be a popular cat, I think you have to be more high energy. You know, you need to like do all this cutesy stuff and be all like, okay, everybody, you know, hit the like button and things like that. Yeah, I see videos of cats and they're always playing and they're being so cute. And then I look at Oreo and he just kind of lies there or rolls around. Like, Oreo, this is not gonna be YouTube material. Yeah. I see some cats and some dogs on YouTube and they have like millions of views. But you know the animal's always moving around. And then I look at Oreo, as cute as he is, I'm like, Oreo, I don't know how I can make content for YouTube. I don't know how I'm gonna make content, Oreo. There's only so much lying down videos people want to see. Oreo lies down yet again. Ooh. Aww. Oh, Emily, I'm doing well, actually. I'm doing well. Trader Joe's, I went to Trader Joe's yesterday, and you remember how I was telling you guys the line was so freaking long? Guess what? There was no line at Trader Joe's yesterday. I was so happy. I was so happy. I bought a bunch of things, and Lewis was complaining about how heavy the bag is, and I told him, I said, you know, most of that is your food, you know, your veggie patties. So don't complain about that weight because that's all your food, mostly. And yeah, so I bought some Green Dragon yummy sauce. I bought veggie patties. I bought bone broth, chicken and beef bone broth, and yeah. Yeah. I think ultimately YouTube serves a wonderful purpose of bringing people together and also letting people know that hello Oreo that you know people can connect. That's like that's how things should be. I think that online certain people they could feel like they're kind of alone or that you know they're boring or there's like people don't take interest in them, especially when you see certain people post online and they're like, yeah, you know, I went out and I ate dinner at this wonderful place and here's my food and here's more food and things like that. It's just, I mean, like, it's good for them, but it's kind of alienating unless you're a big foodie like that. So yeah, I rather just interact with people directly. I gotta get him wasted. Excuse me. He has catnip right here. Right here. I think maybe he has too much catnip mice around him, actually, now that I think about it. Oh, look at that. Seriously, this is really good $2 mice. They're really good. If you have cats, you really should get at least one for your cat. Okay, Oreo. I need more content than that. Lewis was joking how Oreo needs to be more successful. Yeah, Oreo. I don't know. I don't think you're gonna be getting your way to 1 million subscribers anytime soon. But that's okay. As long as you have 1 subscriber, that's all that matters, right? I can guarantee you'll have at least 2 subscribers. Just need to show Oreo how lions behave. This is actually how Oreo might think a lion behaves. See you, Kopaz. Wait, what was so bad about IKEA? I've never been there, you know. Like, how is that store? I know they have things like Swedish meatballs, which I really, really want to try. I heard they have like a little cafeteria or a little dining section you can buy food from, and some people like it and some people don't, but yeah. Well, what is bad about IKEA? Oh, by the way, Catherine, how is your kitty? Any update? Alright, this is gonna be a very long way to get you to lose weight. Oh, he's back to napping. Oh, jeez. Sleeping with Oreo. Actually, I have a bunch of sleeping Oreo videos. I have if you haven't seen it, Emily, look at this video. I think it's called something like Oreo sleeping under the covers. I put it on Lewis's live random channel. It's so cute. Like Oreo is sleeping under the covers, and you can actually see him have like a I think it's called like a hypno jerk or something. He was kind of twitching in his sleep, but it was really really cute. I think that definitely did not get 10,000 views. And I think Oreo, one of his little missions in life is to share warmth and happiness with the world. So even if you only make 1 penny a day, it's okay, Oreo. You bring a lot more smiles. Aww. I don't really know what to say. I mean, Catherine, that sounds terrible. I know you were looking for, good updates about your kitty and it passed away. How are you feeling though? Are you okay? Oh. Yeah. I was talking to someone, oh. Oh no, Theo ran out of battery. I was talking to someone about the afterlife after Salsa passed away, and they told me that they firmly believe that animals are on the afterlife, and yeah, they deal with EVP. So that brings me a little solace. Where's JP when you need him to deliver a box of kittens? Oh no. No, those meatballs. I've never tried those meatballs. I want to check out IKEA one day. See how it is. What I really want to do is, I want to go to Chinatown and try a bunch of food. But obviously that is not really feasible right now. I think as long as you're not too hard on your furniture, it should be fine. And you don't subject it to water. Like if it's compressed wood, if you move water on it, then it kind of expands, right? And it damages it. But as long as you're not hard on your items, it should be fine to buy IKEA stuff. But I haven't purchased any IKEA stuff. Aww. You know, I think that the fact that you did all that you could for that little kitty, even if he's, you know, in the afterlife, he'll remember that, and you gave him really the best shot. Compared to if he was out in the wild, he wouldn't have that much. He wouldn't have that much love and attention to his health. Someone's fidgeting with something. Uh-oh. What is that? I hear something. Oh, what's it? It's okay. Hello, how are you? Are you hungry? Hi. Hello. Hello. Oreo has not moved. Oreo's looking at my box. Okay, what did I miss? What did I miss, you guys? Yeah, now you really got me wondering about IKEA. Arrgh. There's none in Hawaii. There's none in Hawaii. They have, I know they have some in New York. I don't know where it is, though. What? Why would they get rid of the clearance section? Is it because people aren't really walking around, or is it because they're worried about people touching things? I don't know how the store layout is, so I don't know why they would be getting rid of the clearance section. Also, this is I bought these. I love these so much. So they're on sale. If you guys have an H Mart near you and you're in New York, They have these on sale, and it was only $10, $9.99. But here's the thing, okay? So after I bought them, I thought, oh, okay, it has Korean on the front, right? Most likely it's Korea. You wanna know where it's from? You see that? Production of ROC. What's ROC? Republic of China. I was thinking, geez, who writes that stuff, ROC, unless you're trying to be discreet that it's from China. But I really, really love dried persimmons now. They are my favorite snack. I gave a bunch of to people at the store, and it's amazing. So if you ever do go to a supermarket, like a Korean supermarket, you want to get the thickest one. So like this one's kind of, this one's okay, but you see how like some of these other ones are really like really thick? The thicker it is, the more chewy it is. So it's like a big apricot of sorts. See? But it tastes like a persimmon. It's amazing. If you guys have never ever tried dried persimmon before, try it. I highly, highly recommend it. But don't eat this wooden part. Oh, it's the brand. Veggie Queen is a brand. But they have dried persimmons. Like no brand. But the company who distributes it, I think, is called Veggie Queen. Yeah. Go to a Korean supermarket, buy dried persimmons. It's kind of pricey. I think it's about like 8 pieces for $5. Maybe you can get it on sale if it's like a huge box like this, because this was £3 for $10 instead of it being like $7 a pound regular. So yeah. But this is really, really nice. It's a really nice snack. And the way they make this is they actually sun dry it. Yep. It tastes like cinnamon and honey. That's the best way I can describe this. Let's see. So it's peeled, dried off in the sun, and then the outside, because it's peeled, the sugars from the crystallize and turn white. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's a zoom in image. So I highly, 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 highly recommend it. If anybody tries dried persimmons, let me know how it tastes. What you guys think of it. Because this is actually my new favorite snack. And they're healthy as well. Look who's here. Okay. I'm trying to get Clinton. You know, Beyond Meat is quite good. Wait, Beyond Meat? Wait, no, I tried the Impossible Whopper. I don't know if Beyond Meat is the same thing. Oh no, this is Clinton. I don't really see it in American supermarkets, but a Korean supermarket would definitely sell it. Do you have a mouse? I do have a mouse. Clinton. Look at those nails. Jeez. Okay. Oh, Clinton. Well, you're supposed to bat it. This cat is too relaxed. Aw. Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why my these streams tend to be kind of calming, it's I just kind of show the cats lounging around. And they say cats are or cats or animals in general are good to relieve stress. So if you and they're good for mental health as well. So if you guys are watching the cats, maybe it's like having like a cat near you, and then if you see how calm they are, maybe it'll calm you down. Or you could just be like Oreo and just always be calm. Most of the time, he's always calm. Oreo, come on, come on, come on. Here you go. Too soon, Jonathan, too soon. But that's the heartbreaking thing about pets. Like, they're so nice and, well, it depends on the pet, right? But I think pets as companions, you live with them, they see you through your ups and downs, and I think their presence is very calming. Even Clinton's. Clinton. Clinton. What is that guy? Clinton. 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 Okay. There he is. So, yeah, I think pets are very calming, and to know that they're always there, and then if they're sick or they have health ailments, it's sad because you hope that you can see through them, but vet bills are so expensive, right? That if an animal gets sick, depending on what it is, I've heard that it can go thousands of dollars. I know someone who had a pet, and the pet had to have surgery. And with all the overnight visits and health ailments and surgeries, it costs them thousands of dollars. See, this is why I have the bubble wrap. That anesthetic bubble wrap is so he doesn't scratch the wood. Yeah. Like, if you're a vegan, there's nothing wrong with it, right? If you're on a vegan diet and your health is fine, then continue being vegan. But if you feel like you're feeling off on your diet, or you know someone who's not doing so well on the vegan diet, then I think you should encourage them to, or you should encourage yourself to find the solution for it go figure out what it is, and if you're still not feeling better, then be open to going back to your old diet and fix um any deficiencies or shortcomings that you might have in that food. Like, I tried fruitarian diet, and some people say fruitarian is really good and it's clean, it's healthy, it's convenient because you don't have to cook. But you go through so much fruit, and why I had to stop the fruitarian diet is because my teeth started to hurt. I didn't know that by eating fruit so constantly, I was washing my teeth with acid and sugar. So once I realized, hey, my teeth are hurting despite me brushing my teeth and um, despite me brushing my teeth and taking care of my teeth, I need to stop this diet. And I stopped it cold turkey once I read that. But do I think the fruitarian diet is nice? I think on paper it does sound like a very nice diet. It sounds like you get to eat strawberries and berries and oranges and watermelon and persimmons all day every day and pineapple. It's great, but my teeth don't like it. And that's why I stopped. I want to have teeth. And I actually hear things about certain fruitarians. They have decay issues, or that's why some of them have veneers, because when you consume so much sugar, it can wreak havoc on your teeth. But I still eat fruit. You saw me eat a persimmon. I ate an orange earlier today. I believe in moderation, though. I believe in moderation. I don't believe in exclusionary diet. So eating fruit all the time makes my teeth hurt, but eating fruit in moderation doesn't. So I'll continue eating fruit. Oh yes, I knew someone whose cat, I think it's Pika or Pika. They were eating plastic bags. Not these cats though. There was one person I saw online. She says she's been eating fruit for about 20 years. She was a blonde woman. And she was so happy. And I thought, you know what, good for her. If her body can work on fruit and if she's healthy and happy, then she can continue doing it. But do I think I can do fruitarian? Obviously not. If someone um, if someone has health issues, then they should get off a diet and try to find something that works for them. Diet, in the way I see it, it's just food choices, and I don't know what the best diet is. So you got people who are on keto, paleo, vegetarianism, veganism, fruitarianism. There's also the I think McDougall diet or something like that. There's this guy named I think he does like on carb. I don't know if it was him, but there's this one doctor who believes in eating high carb or like root vegetables or starches and nothing else but that. I might be remembering him wrong, but yeah, like I'm thinking, geez, I don't want to eat that stuff all day, every day. But just find, I'd say experiment. If a diet works for you, then continue doing it with it. But the moment that you see something wrong, if you if you can't fix it with your current diet and you're not open to supplementation, then look back into reintroducing things that you excluded. Yeah, I normally don't eat very much fruit at all. But I'm trying to make healthier choices. Look whose favorite cat toy it is. That is Clinton's favorite cat toy. I made a cat stream video once that said something like Clinton playing with his favorite toy, and as soon as I turned on the camera, he walked away. But finally, I can show you guys his favorite toy. Oh, Jack LaLanne. That's what you're talking about, Andre. Oh goodness, that guy was super strong. So, Andre, I think the reason why certain people who are vegan, they put their animals on a vegan diet is because they don't want to be around things that go against their lifestyle. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if you don't have any meat at home and your animal needs to eat meat, or if you don't eat meat and your animal needs to eat meat, then when you see that, I think it causes like dissonance within one's mind. It's like, well, how come my pet is eating meat when I personally don't eat meat? And the best way to resolve that is try to convert the animal into becoming a plant-based, just like an owner's diet. However, I think about it, and I think that is extremely restrictive and controlling. And the reason why I say that is when you are an animal and you are dependent on your owner, you have absolutely no say in what food and what treats you get. You have no say. It's all up to your owner. And what right does it give an owner to say, okay, cat, you can never eat meat again because I think your way of eating, your natural way of eating, because cats are obligate carnivores. They need to eat meat. Um, your way of eating is inhumane. That's the way I see it, and I think it's very judgmental, and I honestly think it can be considered animal abuse because when you are pushing ideologies on an animal that obviously needs meat, and you're doing it because of beliefs, I think that's cruel. I think it's cruel because cats cannot thrive on not having any meat or taurine in their diet. Now, there is a small percentage of animals that are fine not eating meat. I know there are vegan or vegetarian cat foods out there. But I see it this way. If an animal has been eating meat in their diet for millions of years, who are we to tell them, okay, animal, I want you to change right now? Don't eat meat. Don't eat meat. What right now? Like, you need to be more humane than that. Like, be a higher, be a more ethical animal. So just eat plants. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that's pushing ideologies on a cat, and it will have a negative outcome on the cat. And I'm not willing to even think about having a cat that I take care for as a science experiment. People might say I'm very close-minded on this, but the fact that a cat cannot communicate with me and tell me if it's sick, the fact that a cat can't tell me how unhappy they are, is enough for me to say I'm not willing to take that risk. I don't know if there's deficiencies down the line, and I might think, oh, it's not the diet, it could be something else, it could be aging. You see? So, yeah, 100% I would never ever put any of these cats on a vegan or vegetarian diet. And I think if someone has a problem with their animal, or if they say, hey, I want to have a cat, but I don't want the cat eating meat, then they need to resolve themselves mentally and say, are you really being compassionate towards an animal if you're depriving itself of its natural diet? I don't think that's compassion at all. I don't think that's compassion. That's my interpretation of it, though. Yeah. And then, yeah. So I think like when you aren't too familiar with, okay, being real here, vegetarians and vegans, that diet hasn't been around that long for the masses to be studied. Okay, you can disagree with me here. You can be completely disagree with me here, but I know that certain cultures, like Indian cultures, believe in being vegetarian, Buddhists, or maybe even vegans, but I don't know enough about statistically how healthy it is to raise a child on a vegan or vegetarian diet. And I say that because when I'm on a vegetarian diet for a long period of time, I've spoken to you guys about this. After a while, I feel kind of off. And that's why I reintroduce meat products or animal products like my bone broth every so often, so I don't feel like I'm going on a decline. For kids, it's scary because during their during when kids are growing up, they need they need nutrition, right? And it terrifies me thinking that there are some parents out there who say, I do not want to give my kids breast milk because that's not vegan. Even if it comes from the mother, they believe that no, it's not good. And the kid should instead be on soy milk or oat milk or some kind of concoction of sorts. Or if the mom can't produce enough breast milk, right, they'll just make their own homemade I mean, not breast milk, but vegan milk. And there's been cases where children have starved to death as a result of that. The brain is mostly made of cholesterol. And I don't want to think that, like, if I had kids and the kids have don't hit like development milestones, it's because I said, well, okay, kid, I want you to just take a hit, and if you if I feel like not giving you animal products, so I feel better about myself not giving you animal products, then that's okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to take that chance. I absolutely do not want to take that chance and pretend that I'm a know-it-all, or go with these, just give them like carrots and hummus and they'll be okay kind of thing. There's a reason why we have major food groups. There is a reason why there's milestones, and I've seen some vegan children where you look at them and they don't look like they're developing right, bone wise, and these are from YouTubers as well, so they should be knowing a lot more than I do. And if the kids thrive, then that's great, but I don't feel comfortable making those kind of decisions. I don't want to impose it on a child and then feel and risk saying, hey, the kid is not as healthy as it could be, or according to their peers, because during those critical years of development, I willingly chose to not put that kid on certain food groups that they should be on. Like, kids need so much nutrition. Like, I think, like, if you're raising a child, you really want the best start for that kid, because that's when bones are growing, that's when teeth are forming, that's when they're learning so many things, and they're learning to walk and write and talk. And I would not feel comfortable 100% messing with that kind of thing. You see what I'm saying? And neither do I feel comfortable saying, well, I'm just going to read a book from the library and have them tell me what I should be doing. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to follow this book. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that. And nutritionists, being very frank with you, I think nutritionists, um, they differ. Like, if you find like a vegan nutritionist, they might say, "Oh yeah, just give your kid, X amount of this and X amount of berries, and they should be fine." I don't think I don't feel comfortable with that at all. I don't think it's right for me to instill in a child's head that your ancestors, right, or their ancestors were barbarians for eating meat products, and they were uncivilized and they were cruel people, and whoever eats meat products would be considered, therefore, right, either savages or maliciously cruel people or murderers, right? I don't want to send that message to the child. I want the kid, like if I had a kid, this is what I would do. I would feed the kid animal products, but I would also try to make sure the kid understands where these animals come from. I would try to I would take them to a farm and I would say, animals live here just like your pets, right? And when their time has come, they are killed and then they go on the table so you can get nutrition of it. It's very important to be kind to animals and support farmers who treat their animals with respect. And yeah, I don't want to give any child the idealized view that all animals have 30 square feet of space to live in if they're a farm animal. But I think having a connection to animals is really important. So yeah, um, I think that I will never put the life of an animal over the life of a human. That's what it comes down to. Um, I never want to say to someone or feel like, yeah, I'm gonna deprive you of nutrition because I think an animal is more important than your well-being. You could say that's cruel. You're entitled to say that, but when it comes down to nutrition, that is really something that can't be messed up with. If I decide not to eat any meat for 2 months, it's not going to have that much of a consequence compared to a growing child. So my belief is that give a child the best quality foods as you can in terms of reduced processed foods. Give them foods that aren't deep fried and give them like a balance of everything. Fruits, vegetables. I wouldn't go too heavy on the carbs, but protein, things that will help develop their brain and also their bodies. If they want to eat some junk food with their friends, they can. I If they want to eat some, chocolate bar, milk chocolate bar, I don't want to tell the kid like you can't eat chocolate even though your friend can eat chocolate because milk chocolate is not vegan. You see what I'm like? I think that could cause resentment in a child as well. That's just my thoughts. When I was growing up, I remember that in my cafeteria, you would have things like breakfast sausages, pizza, pepperoni pizza. Um, what else did we have? We had like fried noodles with spam inside of it. I want a child to be tolerant and respectful of others. If I want them to understand there are people out there who make choices in their life. You got vegetarians, you got vegans, you got people who are, on certain diets. And there are meat eaters, of course, but it's important to be respectful. And if you want to eat meat or if you want to eat chocolate or ice cream, then it's not I don't feel comfortable imposing that on a child and say you can never eat ice cream, you can never eat this. Not under my watch. You can eat it when you're 18 or you move out, but you cannot eat it while you're growing up and you cannot share on these memories with your friends. But I think the memories are what really also makes childhood special, right? You come together with your friends. Sometimes you eat cheese pizza or pepperoni pizza. I remember that. And or you go out with family and you eat like maybe you eat at a barbecue restaurant or whatever. But yeah, I think it's more important to be to not restrict a child that way. And I really feel that if I did that to a child, that child would resent me. Like if I told a child, like I said, right? If I told a child, like, what are you doing with that chocolate bar? Like, why are you eating a Twix bar? Don't you understand that an animal suffered because of your Twix bar? Like, are you stupid? Right? Like, what would that be? Like, how can you be so cruel? How can you support murder? Like, I don't want to bombard a kid with that. I don't want to do that. I absolutely don't want to do that. I don't want them to feel like their friends are contributing to the friends could be possible murderers because they have like a ham sandwich, or they feel resentment towards their friends, or they're disgusted by their friends. Like, kids are so innocent. Kids are so sweet. And I feel like if I restrict their diet in that way, and then I put beliefs in there as well, they're not gonna just see it as like, oh, so and so has a peanut allergy, so she can't eat peanuts. They would see it as, that person is not a good person. That person needs to be made aware of how much murder they're contributing in the world. And if you have that for a small child, that's scary. Like, what if someone, okay, let's put it this way, right? You know how like small kids have crushes on their classmates? What if, let's say I had a kid, and then the kid says, oh, let's say I like Susie, right? And they find out Susie is a meat eater. Then what? They're gonna say, no, I don't like Susie anymore because she's a meat eater, and meat eaters are disgusting. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't want diet to affect a child and how they view a person's character. So that's what I'm getting at. Like that's why I would not do it. Okay, what did I miss? What did I miss? Yeah, that's very stupid of that person to say, Andre. That's the same lines along the lines of some people saying like, oh, if you didn't have a vaccine, or if you didn't get the flu shot, then you would have never had, this sort of thing happen to you. Red October. Yeah, but I think it's problematic when a child can't make their own choices. You see? So, and I do not want to feel guilty about a child not hitting development guidelines because of dietary restrictions. There is a reason why our ancestors and for millions of years, um, human beings have consumed meat. And I don't want to mess around with it. I don't feel comfortable messing around with that kind of stuff. I really, really don't. Even if, okay, let me even bring this in. You remember how, I know some of you guys aren't religious, but I think of it this way too. If certain people are religious, and you would probably refer to the Bible, right? And I think even in the Bible, there's a part where like they talk about teaching a man how to fish. It doesn't make sense to me. And you can poke holes in here if you want. If Jesus and all the people who were living during that period of time, why didn't Jesus tell everybody to become vegan? Why wasn't Jesus vegan himself? Why wasn't that one in one of the 10 commandments, like, thou shalt not kill animals to eat meat? You know, that kind of thing. I think that back then, there was an understanding that people thrived consuming animal products. But it was also important to treat these animals with respect and care. And if you dispatch them, you would dispatch them quickly. Some people might not be, religious or anything, but it just makes me think about that sort of thing. Like, veganism and vegetarians would have been a much, much bigger group if in the Bible they were saying, yeah, don't kill animals. So maybe there's something in religious texts that talk about that. I can't think of one off the top of my head that I've heard about preaching about veganism or vegetarianism. My belief is, my personal belief is that animals were created so if we needed to, we could get sustenance from them. It's important to treat them with kindness and respect, just like we treat fellow human beings. We are all in this together, and just always be respectful. I completely believe that we are meat eaters. I completely believe that. There's a reason why we, back then, for generations, millions of years, we've consumed meat products, and maybe in the future we can wean ourselves out of it, but I'm not willing to just say, okay, ancestors, you raised me eating meat. From this point forward, I'm gonna say screw you guys and just defy everything. I don't feel and I'm gonna start raising future generations, and without taking into consideration consequences or dietary consequences. Now, we were talking about diets. I was bringing up how in the Bible, I'm not a particularly religious person, okay? I'm very respectful to all religions. I went to a Catholic school, so I can only think about that. But in the Bible, I don't recall reading anything about veganism or vegetarianism in there. I think that, I don't know if animal husbandry was spoken about in there, but I truly believe that animals were placed on this earth so either they can live by them, they can live out in the wild, or if we do decide to consume them or raise them for food, that we do it in a respectful manner. Not this. I don't think this feedlot stuff, agricultural farming, cramming animals in crates was what God intended. Okay. I don't think he saw it that way. I think he saw it as, okay, people are going to make these wooden fences for their chickens or their goats back in the day, and all the animals will be fine. But now, because everything is so for profit and they just want to churn these animals out, then it gets kind of convoluted, right? The animal upkeep or animal welfare back in the day, in my opinion, was a lot higher than they are now. But I can't recall anything in the Bible that we're talking about veganism or vegetarianism. And I don't think Jesus was a vegetarian or a vegan. I remember there was this thing like teach a man how to fish somewhere in there, and um, it wasn't written down anywhere in like the Ten Commandments, like thou shalt not eat this or thou shalt not kill animals for food. And the apostles were most. Yeah, problems. Yeah. So if Jesus and like I said, I'm not a very religious person, but I'm just thinking about when I did go to a Catholic school. If Jesus' own apostles, his own followers were still fishermen, what does that say? Jesus threw a blind eye, or Jesus was okay with it? Jesus believed that animals were put on this earth for humans to consume? It sounds like it, right? It wasn't like catch the fish and then put them in a fish pond. It's catch the fish and eat it. So, yeah. What do you think, Oreo? Oreo? Yeah. So, I try to live a life where I'm respectful and I'm very aware of people around me. I don't ever want to tell someone that they're bad people just based on their diets, or they're inferior to me because of their diet. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think it's healthy to raise children like that as well. It's gonna be. I mean, I imagine like how do you raise kids like that and know that they're gonna interact with meat eaters? Because most of the population are meat eaters, right? Most of the population in the world are meat eaters. Vegetarians and vegans may only make a small percentage, except they're very vocal. So yeah, it's just like yeah, I like I said, I do not believe in having a life where I exclude something from my diet permanently unless I have an allergic reaction to it. Yeah, I don't remember anything against meat in the Bible either. Yeah. And it it irks me when I hear about small time farmers and they're getting lumped as, some animal abusers. Like if you raise some chickens and you let them graze in the pasture and they lay eggs and you give them food and water and they're generally healthy and they interact with other chickens, when their time comes and you dispatch them so you can feed your family or sell the meat to the community and make some money and nourish people, I don't see anything bad about those people. I don't vilify farmers. I can't. My mind cannot vilify a person who is entering a profession with the intent to nourish the community and their family. I know certain people would disagree with me and they'd say, no, those people are secretly, sadistic murderers. But I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. Did someone tell me what? That farmers are sadistic murderers? Well, Orioles. No, Lewis has no desire to get married. So the reason why he doesn't want to get married is because he's known people who got messed up in divorce. So for instance, right? Let's say he knows someone who got married and then the wife divorced him, or they got divorced and the wife took alimony or part of his money or something like that. Lewis does not want to risk that at all. Or he'll stop even going near my drink. So because of that, because he feels like he has too much to lose, he has no desire to get married. He thinks that there is a chance that he can get screwed over by marriage. And I get it. I really get it. Like, his parents divorced. I get it. You know, I understand. And I even told him, I said, you know, you can always get a prenup. But he says prenups, he doesn't believe in them. He thinks that they can just, they don't hold up in court. And I told him, I said, you know, Donald Trump had a prenup. But he doesn't believe in a prenup. He thinks that a prenup will not be enforced. It'll just be disregarded. So as a result of that, Lewis does not want to get married at all. He does not want to risk anything financially. But my thinking is, and I spoke to him about this, is I think, and call me old-fashioned here, I think if a child is brought into this world and you have two parents, what last name does that child get? Like, does it get a hyphen? Or does it get one name versus the other? Because I heard if a woman is unmarried, technically the child would get the woman's last name. But then the child would also ask, how come the parents have two different last names, right? And it just, I don't know. I just think that it kind of implies too that the reason why the parents didn't get married is because there wasn't a level of trust. You see where I'm getting at here? Because you're gonna have, you know, if a kid grows up and it does not have the same last name of the father, it's gonna ask why. Why does the mom have a different name from the dad? Or why does the mom and kid have the same last name but not the dad, but they all live together? So yeah, when I asked him about it, he said that he did not want to marry a woman that could threaten his everything that he worked for. So that's why he said, he's even publicly said it. This is not new information, but he's publicly said it that he will not get married at all. And I guess I'm very old-fashioned. That's the thing. I'm very old-fashioned, and I think that everybody should all have the last name. That's just me, though. Why get married when you can be a sports model for the rest of your life? But it's like I don't I I've always just gotten so used to the idea of there being like a nuclear family that I just don't want there to be like any implications in that child's mind about why it's why it's okay not to trust a woman. You guys get what I'm saying here? Like, yeah, if you like it because it basically implies like don't trust women. You see that the whole fact of not getting married or insisting not getting married and not even having a prenup says that. Come on. I know. I heard you, Oreo. Date for 10 years and problem solved. No. If you date for 10 years, there's no reason why you can't date for another 30 years. Uh, I think Lewis wants kids. I want kids in the future, but thank you, Andre. The thing is that how would I say this? Like I don't know what his timetable for certain things are. So I know his what was that Oreo? He yawned. I know like for instance his dad had him when he was 50. And that's a fine thing for a guy to have children when they're 50. I think that's kind of not the greatest because when the child is 20, that means the dad is 70. I have no desire to have I don't even want to have kids when I'm 50 years old. I think that's too dangerous. I think the cutoff for women to have children is ideally maybe around 35 because after that, then the risk of genetic disorders goes up. Like for instance, Down syndrome increases, and that's just because the eggs are less healthy. As a woman gets older, it's also taxing on her body as well. So I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea at all. Yeah, but if I have a child, I want the child to feel like there's a level of trust between the parents. You guys get what I'm saying? And if it's kind of implied, like, hey, your mom is not trustworthy, then I just, I just kind of worry about that. Like, oh yeah, you're a great kid or your mom's great, but may come a point in time where she stabs me in the back, that kind of thing. It's like, oh. That is a pillow. No, I really believe it's 35 because I spoke to several people and even nurses said it's like advanced geriatric or something like that. Like pregnancies is considered like 35 or 37. It's not 40. 40 years old for a woman, I don't believe it's 40. It's in like the mid 30s. I remember I had a friend whose dad had him when he was 50, right? 50 sounds like a good age, but the problem is that the dad had health problems when my friend was like 18, 19 years old. So I remember my friend told me that he always felt a sense of resentment because he could not enjoy his years after high school or his early college years because he always had to rush home to take care of the dad. The mom was working and the dad needed around the clock care. He was in a wheelchair. He had diabetes and he had to go to so many doctor appointments. So I don't think I would ever want to have kids like that late. Even if some people can have kids when they're 49 years old, like no way. No way. People tend to be more mature or more, how would I say this, more mellowed out or more responsible as they get older. I think in general, but the clock is ticking and I think there's something sad if a kid is just got out of high school and they have to worry about their parents passing away. That's something I will always remember, how much my friend suffered because of it. And that person is a very well-rounded individual, great head on their shoulders, but they sacrifice so much to take care of their dad. So much. They had to drive the dad to so many appointments. And then finally, when the dad did pass away, they said that they were actually relieved that their dad passed away because they could move on with their life. So maybe it's difference in opinion because I was talking to people who were working in the um what's that word? They were basically working in a the word is oh, they were basically working in the neonatology unit of a hospital. So maybe it differs, but yeah, I don't want to have a kid that's, you know, when I'm past 35 years old. Like I would start. I feel like I just kind of think like, what age would a kid be by the time they're out in high school or college, right? Yeah, Celine Dion's husband had a kid when they were when way older, but look what age he passed away when his kids, how old his kids were when he passed away. The kids were young. I didn't get any of the diagnostics tests for Oreo yet. Yeah, but just because, I mean, like Robert De Niro became a father at 68, but do you think women can become a father when they're a mother when they're 68? No, most women cannot give birth when they're 68. There was a woman who gave birth due to in vitro when she was 70 years old. I have no desire to give birth when I'm 70 years old. I have absolutely no desire. Just because it's, like someone said, just because it's possible doesn't mean it's a good idea. No, I didn't change the feeding yet. I didn't change the feeding yet. I'm waiting for the diagnosis. But I should be getting it tomorrow, the day after. Plus, I only have one can of cat food, so it's not really going to do much in that one day. Yeah, so I guess I'm getting conflicting information because from what I've been told by several people who worked at a hospital was it's actually 35. You should 35, 37. But yeah, I worry about risk of birth defects. Risk about, you know, pregnancy complications. Older a person is when they get pregnant, the more chances of pregnancy complications there are. Yeah. So it's just it's it's just like, yeah, there are a lot of risks. It's not like you can just wait forever and ever and ever. Yeah, I just add 20 years to whatever age, and I think does that sound like a good age? Kid graduates from high school and then you're already 70 years old? I don't think so. I think kids need a lot of guidance even after they're out of high school. Um at least until they're 30 or 35 when they're spreading their wings, not gone too early. And I say this because I lost my mom when I was still a teenager, right? So if she had died from old age when I was a teenager, I would have absolutely, it would have been terrible. Um, yeah. So I want to be around as long as possible, and I don't want to have any child think about geriatric care for me when I am when they are getting out of college or when they are getting out of high school. Like, I don't want them to think about that. And that's just me trying to be mindful. Like, let's say 45, right? 45, and then you add 20 years. That means 65 when the kid is 20. And they give it about 4 years when they get out of college. So, what, that 69, 70, right? 70, and then they're out of college. It's just like, they already have to think about taking care of my butt, maybe. It's just no. Yeah. Like I said, it's personal experience. Knowing that I had a friend who whose dad had him when he was 50. Yeah. By the way, here's the other thing too. So the dad was 50, the mom was like 25. So the mom was like 25 years younger than the dad. So that's why the mom was still healthy. It's just that kind of age thing. Just want to make it easier for the child, not have to deal with geriatric care, like I said. It's just, and it's crazy because it's like when I think about it, man, that thing's coming up pretty fast because I'm turning 32 later this month. Oh my gosh, 32. Where did the hell did all the time go? I don't know. And yeah, I just think like, geez, time is ticking. But in case any of you are wondering, no, I do not want to have kids right now. No. I got Oreo cat over here. And he's a handful already. No, I'm not overthinking things. I'm being very honest here. I'm being honest about my age. I'm being honest about my concerns about making sure that when I do have a kid someday, that the kid has the best chance of having a healthy life, and I have a healthy pregnancy, and the kid doesn't have to worry. Hopefully, doesn't have to worry about my old butt when or me dying soon after they graduate. What? I have no idea. That's something on the floor. Who knows? That it's like damaged wood. That's what it is. The wood was damaged before I came over here. So, yeah. It's actually damaged, so the staining of it's gone. What will the world like be in a couple years? I have no idea, Jonathan. I have no idea. Um I take every day by day. So, but there are certain times that I do think about my mortality, my bad. My mortality. And I feel like if I'm 31 right now, I'm already halfway through 62. And geez, it's going by so quickly. It's going by so quickly. But I enjoy every day. You know, I'm not one of those people who who stresses overtly. I just try to have a happy day, and I take it step by step. I I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know what how I don't know how I don't know what will happen tomorrow, right? Life is so precious. You don't know how things will be in the future, but all you can do is enjoy the moment. I think when it comes to that the quarantine stuff, I do think that when things open up, people are going to get lax unless this thing eradicates itself through the sunlight. I think infections are going to go up. I think that it depends how big this will happen. I'm not too sure, but I do believe that when people are traveling around the world and coming in close contact with themselves, it's just going to get worse. I also feel that maybe this is just a conspiracy theory. I feel like the looting and the rioting is going to come back to New York. That is my thoughts. I when I saw what was happening when those rioters were going on, it was a very organized effort. That makes me think that if it can be that organized, maybe they're just waiting for these stores to restock and put their guard down, and then they're going to strike again. A lot of stores around Manhattan have been quick to try to remove their barricades because they want things to go back to normal. But if you're restocking your stores with expensive items again, like that Dwayne Reed that is nearby the store, it got its windows shattered. They try to reopen it again. It's not a smart move. I think it's a stupid move. You should keep the barriers up for a while. And if people have a problem with aesthetics, then that's very short-sighted, because the thing is that I think the inventory inside is very, very important. And people understand why places boarded up. It was because they had concerns about safety and the property. So I'm not thinking along the lines of, oh, everything is going to be, great because the looters went away. No, the looters went away, but they can easily come back again. So I hope more stores board up for the time being. Don't put down those boards if you have products that people want to sell. Steal. Like if you're a Foot Locker or something, those shoe stores got hit hard. Keep your boards on. Yeah, but the fact the virus is still out there is alarming. I agree, MB is Frenchie. I think that they needed to crack down more on the looters. It pissed me off when I saw footage of people letting the looters go. And these looters would just wiggle out of the store. The police were there and just staring at them like, oh, I'm not going to do anything. And when you don't crack hard on looters and rioters, they feel like they're invincible. They'll be like, haha, police, you're right there and you're watching me steal. And I'm going to keep doing this again because there's no repercussions. This is why I firmly believe that when these stores restock, there is a good chance that these looters will come back again. It depends. It was so brazen. What was going on in terms of looting was so brazen. They were doing it in broad daylight. They were doing it in front of the cops. All these stores are, all these shoe stores are probably empty right now. But once that stock comes back in, really no reason not to corral a couple hundred people to break down a glass window again. Yep, it's a great an opportunity. It sends a very dangerous message if you're a looter and you think, hey, the cops aren't doing anything. All these people are robbing a store in broad daylight. Actually, from what I've heard, Apple, they well, at least in their iPhones, they're able to send out a message that if people stole the iPhones, then they're gonna notify the police, or there's tracking on it, or they're aware that the phone was stolen. I don't know how they did it, but I thought it was really fun. I think, Hannah, you'll be surprised. If you are a looter and you come in with a crowd of people, bystanders will not get involved because they'll be like, oh crap, we don't know if these looters are armed. We want to back away. Oh, yeah. Well, de Blasio's still in office, so if there's looting, we'll see what happens. I know. I want to get some of my stuff from Japan right now. I'm waiting for shipments in Japan, and they're stuck in Japan because Japan Post is not shipping to the United States. I'm like, grr. I feel like I'm just waiting for that thing to open. Also, when you have certain businesses relying on imports from Japan and it's not coming through, yeah, that's not good for restaurants. No, not more Miku, more plushies though. But yeah, it's. Oh, yeah, it sucks. I think that once the airlines open up, people are gonna be in a rush to get where they need to go. Full capacity. Maybe you'll have more people do travel, and you're gonna have COVID spread again. I would not be surprised if COVID comes back and people get too comfortable and things just spiral out from control. I will not be surprised at all. Oh, yeah. I miss some of the stuff from Japan. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys take care. I need to get moving. I've spent 3 hours and 30 minutes talking to you guys. I actually should be around the house doing stuff. However, it's hard for me to do that because, well, the camera's here, and I don't want to give you guys motion sickness. That's all. What is it, Copaz? What is it? No, Copaz, I don't need figures printed. Thank you for offering, but I don't need it. I don't have any figures that I'm waiting for anyway. I think, okay, so 11, do you know everything born in this world will only care for itself and will eventually die with nothing in the end? False, because if you have a loving heart, especially if you're a parent, I think that parents will sacrifice themselves for their children because they'll realize that they love their child so much that they will do everything in their power to make sure that child lives a good life. Now that's just for, you know, um the parents that I have in my mind, not narcissistic parents at all. But I think also if a person passes away, they don't die with nothing. I think they die with feeling that they hopefully they have enough time to feel that they they did good in the world, or that they they made a positive change in the world. Even if it was a small change, they made the world a little brighter place. And for me, like I don't fear death. I don't want death to happen anytime soon, but I I kind of think like if I knew something was going to happen, I would feel that I did a pretty good job at life. Even though, you know, I am where I am at life, and I feel like I did a pretty good job. And so I wouldn't feel like I had nothing in the end, because I know that there are people who really love and care for me, and there are people that I spread some happiness to out there in the world. And at the end of it, materialistically, you'll have nothing in the end if you are 6 feet below or if you're cremated, but you will have hopefully the love from the people that you've come in contact with in your life. And that's what you'll have in the end when you go off to the other side. That's my thinking. Yeah, if you want to lower your environmental impact, it's not just the most thing you can do to lower your environmental impact. It's not just cutting meat. It's actually not having children. Because if you have a child, then they're going to be consuming resources, right? They're going to consume resources. They're going to be going out, eating, or cooking for themselves, buying clothes, buying furniture, having a pet maybe. You get what I'm saying. Life is what you make of it. Hope is feeling like hope is feeling that whatever you want in life is attainable, or whatever you dream that you want to obtain is obtainable. No, he hasn't come home yet. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, I gotta end this stream. So you guys take care. Have a good night. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's midnight already. Crazy. See ya.